accepting that you do not know all of the answers as a business owner is crucial to ensure that your business thrives, not just survives. And I'm not just talking about recession time, I am talking generally. So I am seeing on quite a frequent basis when I am having conversations with business owners that basically they're not seeing the value in business coaching and business consultancy because they have all of the answers, right? Well, from my perspective, they're not the type of business I want to work with, because being a business coach and business consultant, for me to be able to really make a difference for my clients, they've got to be open to the concepts in which I am teaching, right? But this, where we are currently with the current economic climate, to me, it is even more important that you ensure in your business that you have the support around you. And that would therefore mean anything from ensuring you've got a good quality accountant. One of the things I am seeing time and time again is business owners are relying on their accountant, but actually they're not getting the correct support from them. They're doing the end of year accounts, they're doing the tax return, and that is literally it. Now, when it comes to an accountant, a good quality accountant, you aren't just speaking to them once a year or when your VAT return is due. You're speaking to them on a regular basis. They should be checking in to see how you're doing. They should be looking at where your accounts are and actually giving you that support and guidance. So that's just one expert that is so important to your business. You should also, if you've got employees, have a HR expert. They don't need to be employed. It can be on a consultancy basis. It can be either on a retainer or ad hoc. But in terms of if you've got employees, an HR expert is absolutely crucial to your business. You also should really have a lawyer that you can pick up the phone to be able to get guidance on, because ultimately as a business owner, there are legal issues, whether it's a contract dispute, whether it's issues regarding an employee that the HR person can only take to a certain point, and you then need legal involved, whether it's a case of you're looking at commercial premises and you need a lease. Ultimately, you should have, whether it's a law firm or a specific lawyer that you should have on, in your contact list, that you know if you need them, they are available. You should also have a marketing expert. Does not necessarily need to be, again, somebody that you employ. And the one thing I would say in terms of marketing, there is so much to marketing that I am seeing with businesses that they're thinking, right, social media is the direction I need to go. And they solely go for somebody who specializes in social media. That's all well and good if the strategy has been done first. And when I'm talking about strategy, and you know I talk about this on a regular basis, that is in terms of looking at who your ideal client is and your target audience. It's looking at your marketing message, and ultimately the strategy in terms of what are you actually aiming for by utilizing the marketing. What is your strategy? Is it lead generation? Is it brand awareness? What is the strategy that is behind it? And actually, what are you trying to achieve with it? So this is where having a solid marketing plan, having a solid business plan that works hand in hand is absolutely crucial, because ultimately you've got to have that business goal as to what you're aiming for, and you're doing the reverse engineering as to how you're going to achieve it, and you will utilize your marketing. So for example, if you're wanting to generate a certain amount of money, you need to be looking at the services you offer, what is your average value transaction, and from that you can work out, well, how many clients do I need or customers at this particular service that will generate that particular target. And from that, you can then work out how many leads you need to be able to generate. And that's then when your marketing strategy you can put into place to be able to generate that level of leads. But if you don't do all of that strategy that's behind it, all you are doing is literally throwing mud at the wall and hoping it sticks. So in terms of marketing, the marketing expert is something that is a really, really important part, but make sure that they're doing the strategy. They're not just putting a bit of social media content out there, because the content has got to be strategic, right? And of course, having a business coach, having a business consultant on board is also something that is crucial. And often what they will do, and this is what I particularly do, is I start to actually bring these pieces together. I'm often somebody that is literally in the middle, and I'm kind of bringing these people to be able to support my client. I'm often translating certain situations, and I'm often putting the foundations that then mean that people like the accountant, etc., that they are then coming on board and they're providing the support going forward. I sort out often the mess of the accounts, I get them back on track, and then the accountant comes in to take on board the marketing. I often do a lot of the strategy that goes behind it, and then in due course I recommend them having maybe somebody that can then take on board doing their social media or a bit more of the design work, etc., all depending on what the business needs are, right? Now, with all of these aspects of a business, the key part that I'm trying to say to you is, if you are not open to learning new things in relation to your business will not survive, because there are constantly new marketing techniques that are coming out there. At the end of the day, if I look back in terms of my legal career and generally the legal profession, in my view, you have kind of three types of law firms. You've got the type that is literally a case of reliant on their existing client base. The families have always gone to that law firm, and therefore they'll continue to go to that law firm, that they're known within their local town, and therefore they're reliant on it. And they're what I call a very traditional law firm. You've then got the other extreme, who are the really forward-thinking law firms, which was what I was aiming for, which is where they were open to technology, they were open to new marketing techniques, and they were open to actually thinking, okay, what they're looking at, what does their client actually want? Not just the legal service, but what do they actually want? And this is where I'm talking about an emotional connection with your client, right? And then you've got the firms that are in between that. So they're a little bit kind of stuck in their ways, but they're starting to open the doors in terms of looking at potential new routes to market, etc. Right? And the legal profession is renowned for always being 10 to 20 years behind the times. And you will have the people that will be like, right, we've survived this long, we've survived other recessions. But the thing is, the world has evolved. A lot of people now will go online to be able to find either the answer to a question or to be able to actually find someone who is an expert in what they need. The amount of times now I am literally seeing in Facebook groups, whether it's the local community group, where people are asking, can anybody please recommend a plumber, a carpet fitter, an accountant, whatever it is, that this is where social media now, it's replaced things like the traditional yellow pages, if you remember that, where people would literally be like, okay, they'd want a plumber, they'd go through the yellow pages and they'd then call the local plumber, right? People don't do that anymore. Google has replaced it. Facebook groups has replaced it, right? So if you are not moving with the times in terms of your marketing strategy, for example, you will not survive. You need to make sure that whatever business that you are in, you need to be utilizing the online market. I know from my personal experiences, right, throughout my journey as an entrepreneur, I have made catastrophic mistakes. And I know that the best way that I can move forward with my business is that I learn from those mistakes. One big mistake I made with the law firm was, for example, when I had an amazing business plan, but I had a one-page marketing plan, because when I first started, I did not understand the importance of having a marketing plan. I didn't understand marketing strategy. I just thought I could put an advert in the local newspaper. I had my Facebook page. I was on LinkedIn. At that point, Instagram wasn't a major thing. And I was doing all of these things. I had a website that I had built, and I thought, right, okay, I'll start putting a bit of things, putting a few posts out on social media, put my ad in the local newspaper, and the clients will come. Eventually, I had a few, but ultimately, because I hadn't strategized it, it was not the level in which it should have been. I got to the point where people were starting to recommend me, which was fantastic, and I was out networking and people knew what I was doing, but there was no marketing message. There was no ideal client in which I was looking for. And I then was like, I just didn't understand all of this because I'd never done that in business before. I then started learning from a business coach myself. And I'd gone and I started understanding more and more about the concepts of marketing. And from that, I then formulated a marketing plan. I'd gone from a one-page document to, I think it was something like a 20-odd page document with appendices. It was huge, right? Because what I had actually done is I had delved deep in terms of my marketing. You know, I was looking at what were my strategies, what were my marketing message, what was my ideal client, and then looking at the activities and planning out the activities that were to generate. But even when I did that, I still wasn't aware in the same level in which I am now. So in terms of, for example, the detail and what I cover in my existing marketing plan for SLJ consultancy is entirely different to what I did with the law firm. The law firm was streams better than what it was when I first started, but it still wasn't good enough. And even now, I'm still learning about marketing concepts. You know, there is so much out there when it comes to marketing, and certain techniques work for some businesses and other techniques don't work for others. But you've got to experiment and try what works, but not be one of these people be like, oh, it won't work for my business. Well, if you haven't tried, how do you know? You know, I've tried a number of different strategies in relation to my marketing with SLJ consultancy. You know, I have looked at various things in terms of what type of service I want to offer. And ultimately, that has evolved. Even my ideal client, that has evolved. And the thing is from each of these things that I'm learning about, my business is then evolving. It is then improving, right? Now, if you do not evolve your business, if you do not learn new techniques, if you are stuck where you are right now and you're like, I don't need to earn any more money, I'm happy where I am, I've got the client base, etc. If you then lost, say for example, your one biggest client, what impact would that have on your business? If you lost 5 of your biggest clients, what impact would that have on your business? Because ultimately, if your clients aren't able to survive this current economic climate and a recession, your business won't survive. Now, what I'm making sure with my clients is I'm arming them with the necessary techniques so that they will get through this recession. I have no doubt that my clients will get through the recession because they are strategizing. We are making sure that their business is protected as far as it is possible, right? So if you are interested in your business being protected and that you want the necessary strategies so that your business thrives, not just survives, or even in terms of you are one of these people that realize that you need to learn more skills and you want your business to move forward and grow, then the best thing you can do is get in contact with me and we can have an initial discovery call and we can get you booked in for a potential business review and we can see how we can get you through the next 6-12 months in terms of a couple of years, however long this recession is going to last for, right? We will protect your business so your business doesn't just survive it, it thrives through it. So if you want to get in touch, just make sure that you pop in the comments, just put thrive. That's all I want you to do, is put thrive, and I will get in touch. You can DM me if you want, but I hope that some of the guidance that I've given you today really helps you think in terms of, where is your business going? Are you stuck where you are? And in fact, do you want it to be better? Do you want to thrive through a recession? Then you know what you've got to do. So thank you guys for listening, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day.